Hi. Well, I hope that helped my computer to finish the class. Hey, everyone. I spent my break emptying out
Oh,
things from my computer, hopefully making some space for it to work better. I uninstalled 4 applications and then I got rid of an old photos library just to get it to complete the class. Later, I have to go and get rid of all of my son's videos and stuff, but right now that should help. So I hope everyone comes back from break and that I didn't lose you guys by doing this. Anyway, so I'm readmitting people. All right. So I was in the process of emptying out my trash on the other side, so to say, of the screen where I have my other computer, and it was time to come back. So I got rid of a bunch of stuff, but I didn't empty out my trash completely on the other side. On the other side, I mean the other account, the one where I have all this extra stuff in. So, and then I had to switch back to this account to start the class again. So I got, but I think functionally though, the computer is gonna work much better. All right. So I don't want to completely launch into it until everyone shows up again, because I'm teaching something new, very new. So any questions while a few more people join us, because everyone was here and they should be coming back. Some people take a bit longer to come back from break. Any questions, you guys, that I can answer if I give them a few more minutes?
Yeah, I have one. So is what you're showing us, is this just a matter of preference, whether we like it to do this way or have it in a long column? Is that what you're just trying to show us how we would like to have it work?
Yeah, it's just a matter of how you prefer to view it. Usually I don't want to confuse people. Well, one is enough. You don't need to know how to do 2, but I usually teach only how to do in the columns view. And I just wanted to show you guys the view that the list view that I've been teaching you for the last few days. And I'm going to keep teaching in that mode, but in case some people prefer to view it the other way, because I have taught it that way to people who've been in my classes before. I just wanted to show the other view and to say it's a matter of choice. It's a matter of a preference, that's all.
Diana?
To reiterate from last time, I just want to be sure, because I'm looking through my documents folder and I have tons of IMG images, which are untitled, which I just am putting in folders to review by category. Is it okay if I rename them, will I create a whole new document so that I can identify what they are?
And you're saying there's a number like 1, 2, 3, whatever, and then it says or at first it says IMG and then a number, something like that.
Thousands,
and then a number.
Thousands,
and there's JPEGs, right?
Of
Something like that.
IMGs, which is just fine. That's how they came in.
Yeah.
But they never were labeled. And they're, unless I look at each one of them, they're mystery items.
No. That would drive you crazy. So let me, now I'm going to explain a bit more. Those are all photos, okay? And I just put in any old number up there as an example so you know what she's talking about, because some of you guys might have that too. And that's how photos come into your computer. Before, you used to have a phone and the Photos app. Now, if you're still not using the phone and the Photos app system, then that's what files look for you. Now that people are taking their phones on their photos and just, through the cloud, it's going into your computer, you don't see these files anymore. So people from a long time ago who've had photos in their computers forever see this kind of file, or people who on top of using their phone maybe use a digital camera and bring things in with a card.
These are scanned documents that I have to save.
Documents or stuff like that. So I'm going to show you how to see them more easily to know what to do, whether to get rid of them or not. And that is, by the way, the entire how to deal with your photos or scans or images of any sort, take the Living the I Life class. Let me let some more people in. So when it comes around again, I'm trying to get them to set it up for the fall. I need, you know what, I need a reminder about that because I talked yesterday with Emma and I didn't talk about this. So I Life for the fall, because once you do these 3 classes, the next thing you really want to go in depth is what to do with these images. So that's where I spent an entire, you know, the same 25 hours all these class last just on the Photos app. And that'll be more detailed. But right now I'm going to show you how to handle them at a basic level. So hold off on that until I get more into what I want to describe next, and then we'll get into what to do with the pictures. Julie, your hand is up.
Yes, I have a question. In downloads, I have something called archive. There's nothing in there. And then I have archive 2 and there's nothing in there. Can I delete that?
If there's nothing in there, delete them. If,
Yeah.
if you open them up and they're empty, delete them. And there's different programs that might create archives, and when it's just labeled archive, we don't know where it might come from, as long as there's nothing in them. Just-
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Otherwise, if there's something in there, then we can find out. Okay,
Diana?
I'll talk about recents now. Leslie, yes, Al?
Yeah, for some reason, you know, the little triangle, in my downloads folder, I've got the class download thing, but it doesn't, I don't get the triangle there where I can get the breakout
Okay,
in the list
in
mode.
the downloads folder, if you are viewing it, let me share my screen now.
Oh,
If you are viewing things in this columns mode, you don't get a triangle. In fact,
No.
if you have a folder, the little triangle is over here, because if you click on it, then it opens up in there. So
But
that's
I'm
in
in
this
the list mode.
let me just show one more thing though. In this
Sure.
mode, when you do get to the place where there's a file, so let's see if we have a file in one of these, here. Notice that when there's a file, we finally get into a folder that has something.
Yeah. there's no-
When each folder still has arrows, arrows, arrows. When you get to a file, there's no more arrows because
No
there's
more
nowhere
arrows,
else
right.
to go. So that's for the people who are in this mode. The arrow is over here telling you there's more, keep opening, there's more. If you see an arrow, keep opening until, you know, the folder
Uh-huh.
is saying there's something in there. Oops, this folder, there's nothing in there, but the folder can hold things, okay? Versus if you're viewing things in this mode, then there will only be a triangle next to a folder, but see, next to a file, there's no triangles because there can't be anything inside of that. There can only be triangles when there's a folder for something to be inside of. But once again, if one of these folders is empty, like the cruises, when you open it, there's nothing in there, but there should be a triangle. So if you are in this mode and it's a folder and there's no triangle, something's wrong. If it's a file, it shouldn't have a triangle. So did that answer your question?
Well, yeah, I'm in the list mode and I'm looking at class files to download and there's no triangle there. Now, if I double click on that, then I get the miscellaneous files and.
Okay,
but
so
there-
I'll go and take a look. I'll ask you to take a look, but let me just tell you what he's saying. I don't like the double click. Let me tell you why.
no.
When you're in this mode, right? If you double click, you can, some people do that. That's as if you were working in this mode. In this mode, when you're just seeing icons, you can't go in there unless you double click. It's the icons mode. When you do double click, you get in there. Now you see the main folders. And then when you double click again, you get in there, but it's like you stop seeing everything else. So I really don't like this mode. The only way to get out of this double click mode is to back. So if you do the exact same thing in this mode, which is what Al's saying, and you double click, you end up also seeing only the files that are in there. If you then double click family files, you see only family files. So it's fine. It's just a more limited view. And then you have to go back like that. So I don't recommend double clicking. I recommend opening triangle. Now he says he doesn't have them. So let's go see what's happening. And then Al, please share your screen. And then I want to start explaining how to create these folders. What's this recents thing that's there? And let's create the structure. So let me see. Downloads, other data, class files to download. Huh. I do see. Can you go put your mouse over where there should be a triangle, and
Right here.
can you click in there and see if something happens?
No.
Huh. That's bizarre. I mean, if you're in Big Sur, you don't see a full triangle. You see like the little angle only, the caret icon, but you
I'm in Catalina.
in Catalina and you don't. This is the kind of thing that looks like a glitch. Did you never see it? Is this the first time you
I
don't?
saw it last
Yeah, I've seen-
Tuesday when we were,
Yeah, I feel like this is a glitch.
yeah.
Like you need to reset, do a quick attempt here, go up to where it says Finder. To the apple, very, very top
Oh,
apple.
up here. Yeah,
Click on Find on the apple.
yeah. Oh, under the apple or?
Go down to force quit. Yeah, and this is just a test. Say force quit. And oof,
Okay.
you do have a lot of stuff open. Go ahead and
Oh,
relaunch your
okay.
Finder. Go ahead and click relaunch right there for the Finder, just in case it
Okay,
redraws. And this is just a test. Yeah, no, that didn't work. Close that. You have bazillions of things open. So
Okay,
maybe there's
so
some issue
close
with
some of these
right.
things.
I would say right click and quit a lot of stuff. But I don't, it's something about your view. I'm gonna say that it's something about your view. Since it's a problem that just you are having, hang out after class. There's another option
Okay.
I can tell you about how it could be fixed. But meanwhile, yeah, quit some other stuff.
Deanna, if he double clicks on it after the first click, because I had the same lack of the arrow, and then I just double clicked again and it opened.
Oh, go ahead and double click class files to download.
Diana, mine is like that too. I don't have arrows to or triangles like Al.
That is so weird. And that's
Me
two guys
either.
now who are saying that. So all this time I've been telling you to click on the triangle. You guys haven't had it, or is that today?
I didn't
Just
know.
today for me.
For Al, it's today. Yolanda,
Yes.
it's never?
No, no. Since the very beginning, I just did not speak about it until Al mentioned it. I thought that was normal to have no triangle. On the
If I'm showing you a triangle saying click on the triangle to open and you don't see it, that's a good time to speak up. But
Well,
I don't know.
it opened up because I click on the blue folder.
And so it opens up and
Not-
it double click.
Yeah,
Okay.
there was no triangle. to share.
Marie too. So Al is just happening today. Marie, has it happened in the past for you? Or just-
I don't know if I ever paid attention because when it didn't open up on the first click, I just double clicked and it opened. But
Okay,
the-
well,
But
but
the
then,
initial,
but
the initial
I-
arrow was not there.
but
Oh,
when
by
you
the way-
double click, you do have the arrow after that, you're saying, but Al doesn't.
I have arrow after that, but when you click it, it says second level, third level. That's all that you have. Nothing like
Yeah.
the what you were showing.
Okay, well, that's surprising. I don't know. I've never had someone not have the arrow. So there's a way that you can change what you view that you might, that might be that what you did. I told Al I would try to attempt that after class. So if it's 3 of you guys, stay a little bit later and I'll see if I can show you how to change your views. But for now, I'm gonna continue explaining a bit more. So I'm gonna share my screen again. Don't forget at the end of class when I say, oh, there was something I had to show you. Al, Yolanda, Marie, remember that it was the lack of triangles. Will you guys remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. Mhm.
In fact, yeah, let me write it down because then at the end, lack of triangles in list view. And let's see if we can go, because you can turn things on and off to see, and I'm wondering if that's mistakenly turned off. Okay.
Deanna,
Um,
Deanna,
but hold on, unless it's very apropos, I want to continue with creating folders and recents. So Julie, yeah.
yeah, I had the same issue, and what happened was I could only see the AME. I couldn't see the whole word name, and I couldn't see the arrow.
Oh,
That's just
thank
today.
you. That
So
it's
then I clicked on name, and now I can see the full word
No,
of
no, no, no,
name.
no. Hold on, Julie. Thank you. let me see one option. Someone had this happen the other day. If you have, there's an option there, which is that you've scrolled sideways like this,
Yeah,
but Al didn't have that. But it could be that you've scrolled sideways and see how you're hiding. Like if you don't say the word name, you need to
Right.
scroll right again to see everything. So, but Al didn't have that. So it wasn't that, but maybe that is happening to someone else that
that was happening to me.
go away. See what I mean? So
Yeah.
make sure that's not what's happening. But I could see Al did see that space and that space was empty. So
Okay.
that isn't his case, but it might be someone else's.
It was
So-
mine. Yeah, thank
so
you.
Thank you for pointing that out because you might have resolved that for other people. Okay, that when you see how I'm going sideways and as soon as I'm beginning to, if you just happen to have only this much hidden, you might just not see them and it's because it's hiding. Okay. Okay, so that's a good point. All right, but I know Al's problem wasn't that because you could see his space and his space was empty. All right. So guys, I've showed you downloads, desktop, applications, iCloud Drive, that kind of thing. But there's this big recents here. Now, when I click on recents for the first time, it comes in this icon view again. So I'm gonna switch back to list view so that we can see things the same way. Yeah, thanks, Yolanda. So notice that in my recents, I don't have any folders and I probably doubt anyone has any folders in recents now that I think about it. Some of you don't have recents. You have something called all files. People with High Sierra or in fact, does Mojave, does anyone here have Mojave?
I do.
Okay, so do you have recents under
I
Mojave?
do.
All files. Okay, so then it's people with High Sierra who don't have recents. So let me explain what recents is. It's not a place. So imagine desktop is a room, like it's the kitchen. Download is another room. It's the bedroom. Document is another room. It's the living room. Those are separate locations in your hard drive where things get stored and you choose what goes where. But for some people, going to these places might be harder to remember, or where are things, where are they not? Some of you have more things. People who have inherited a computer from before and kept updating, you might also see things like pictures and music, and you might have other names here. As operating systems get updated, it becomes cleaner and there's less stuff here in the favorites, okay? But when you had them from before and you do an update, it inherits what you had before, so it kind of grandparents it in. So if you had that you saw, media before or pictures before, you still see it. But for people who just bought their computers and didn't have anything from the last, say, 3 years up, then you're down to just very few things up here. Why? Because basically everything should be either in the downloads or the documents. Those are the two places where things should be. Or some people might have something in the desktop. We're going to talk about what things should be in the desktop or not. For the most part, right now I have a bunch of screenshots that I took sometime in the last intro to the Mac class that are still hanging there because I haven't explained yet what to do. And those are the important things. Now, when you want more compartments for your stuff, they should all be inside of documents where you start putting folders within folders of stuff, okay? Where you start putting things in an organized way. So that should be happening in the documents, okay? And that's part of what we're gonna keep going. Then what is this recents? If you click on recents, unless you haven't been using much of your files, it might be empty. Now, this computer of mine, this version of the computer of mine that I'm using is just for teaching. So I only have 18 items, but in my real side where I have hundreds and thousands of things in here. So many of you probably have many numbers down here. So what
Yes,
is
it's 140 and they go back to 2017. That's not
Exactly.
recent. That's like,
Okay.
why would they call it recent if they're 4 years old?
Okay, so let me explain. Let me explain what recent's in and then you'll totally get it. But that's a perfect example. You have things way back to 2017. Some people might have things way back to 2013. Who knows? Okay, so here's what recents is. And what he said might help you understand. This is not a place. Your stuff, this screenshot has a place to be. In fact, click on the top thing that you have in your screen and your recents. And then go down and look at what it says. And it says that this screenshot is in my desktop, in my iCloud Drive. right? I'm gonna go make it a bit smaller so you can read. And if I click on this here, it's something that's in my downloads in my iCloud Drive. And if I click on this thing, it's in my miscellaneous personal files in my iCloud Drive. If I click on this thing, it's in the screenshot, which is my desktop, okay? So this is where those things really are. Okay, now before, when we clicked on desktop and we clicked on something there, yeah, this would definitely be in the desktop. And if I click on downloads and I click on something here, this is definitely in my downloads. This is where they really are. In Recents, they are still where they are, but they are only here because this is the day you open them. And so in order of starting today, down the list, I only have things I've opened in this class. So if you look at the date last open, okay, today at 1:46, I opened this one. June 10th is the last time I opened this one, May 27th, and so on and so forth. I only started March 25th, which is when I created this account. You guys can have a history like Leon has all the way down to 2017 or further. So this is not a place in your computer. It's an organizational list to show you what you need. Why? Say that you're working on a file, and I'm going to go by you're writing a book. So you start writing a book today. You put that file in the right place. You put it in your documents folder, inside of a folder called my writing, my stories, and inside of that, inside of novels, inside of chapter 1. So you have it all nicely stored in the right place. But if you want to go find it, instead of having to go all the way into documents, novels, writing, stories, chapter 1, you can come to Recents, and since you just work on it, you just double click on here, and it's like a quick finder for the things that you used recently. Once you stop using it, it begins to fall lower on the list, right? And at some point, it's all the way down to 2017. That's the last time you opened that file in 2017. If you were to open that file right now, it would go to the top. So this thing that I have right here, I didn't open, I've opened in May 18th. That's, I don't know, a month ago from now. I'm going to change its name. I'm going to call it a screenshot kind of thing so that you can see that it doesn't start with screenshot. Okay, so here's the name, a screenshot. I opened it last May 7th, May 18th. I'm going to open it now. How do you open a file? Double clicking. So I opened it now. It was a screenshot of that you guys or the last class answered something. Now look at where it is, the a screenshot. It's at the top. Meaning it's still in the desktop, still in my iCloud Drive, but it was just open, so it's showing up on top. So this list of Recents is not a location-based icon here. It's the last things you've used. Because usually, if you're writing a novel and you write once a day or once a week or once a month, it's gonna be hanging out kind of at the top versus something that you haven't opened since 17, you'll have to scroll down to because that means you're not using it. So it's a quick access to the stuff you use the most. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but what I hear you saying is that it's really a duplicate of everything you have.
Thank you. So wait, let me stop you right there. It's not a duplicate. It's a pointer to your file. It is not, this is very important. It is not a duplicate. This file is only one time in existence in my desktop. The only reason it's here, it's because it's showing up because it's like a sorting of where the date last opened is what matters the most, but it is not a duplicate at all. This is not a place. It is just a viewing of when you last opened it. Well, I could have done the same thing if I had gone to my desktop and clicked on date last open. All my files would organize in that order, but then I'd have to go to my desktop and say disk last open and downloads and disk last open, which I could do. This does it all in one. It takes any file, no matter where it lives, and it gives you like the icons in your doc, just a link to open it wherever it links. So it's not a file, it's just showing you that file, where it lives and putting it in order. So it's just showing them to you. It is not a duplicate. This is very important. It's just a way to quickly access, as much as on the doc, we quickly access applications that we want the most. This Recents is a place to access your files wherever they are. So they're not organized. They're not inside of their folders. They're just a pointer to, oh, you want to see the last thing you were working on? Here it is. If you want to know where it is, it's actually on your desktop. It's not in your Recents. It's in your desktop. You want to open this one? Oh, it's actually in your downloads. It's not in your recent. So this is just a pointer. Marie has been raising her hand and Susan has a raised hand. I just wanted to really explain what Leon was saying, because no, these are not duplicates at all. Can you though handle the files from here? Can you delete this one from here? Well, if you delete it from here, you're not deleting it from recents, you're deleting it from your desktop iCloud drive. So you don't, this is a running, it's like a running tab of what you opened it. If you were to delete it, and I can right click and move it to the trash, it's deleting from my desktop, not from recents.
Oh,
It also deletes, so if I right click and delete and say move to trash, this one that says a screen, which if I look at my desktop, it's hanging there, and I send it to the trash, it deleted from recents in the sense that the file got deleted. But if I go to my desktop, it got deleted from here too. And if I open my trash, let me show you my trash.
so it doesn't behoove anybody to delete it, because
It's
it's not
in
taking
my
up any space.
Trash, right? So it's the file itself. It is the file that is now in my trash. It's not, meaning I'm gonna put it back from the trash so it goes away, and I'm putting it back. So in my desktop or my recents, it's there because I've opened it. And let me share again my Finder now. So I just said put back, and here it came back. And so it's back in my desktop. There it is. And it's back in my recents because I just saw it last. Now, when I look for it in my desktop, the date on it, it's still May 18th, because that's the last time I actually did anything with this file. That's when it was modified and created, right? That's when it was created. It was created May 18th. But if I look at recents, when was it last opened? It was opened today because I just clicked on it to open. It doesn't tell me when this file was created, when, nothing. And the only reason I know where it is because I put on this tab bar. Other than that, if I go to my desktop, the file was still created and modified on May 18th. It doesn't give me the information here of when it was opened. It's just in by alphabetical order. It's neatly stored on the desktop.
Thank
Or
you,
it's neatly
Donna.
stored in my documents. So recents, if it's confusing, don't bother using it. I personally never use it. For some people, it's like the best thing ever, because now they don't need to go find where their stuff is, because if they know they've used it, you just go here to open it. It's hard to explain because people think it's a different place. It's not. It's just showing you what you last opened. That's all it is. The place where these things are truly is in these places, in the desktop, downloads, and documents. Okay, Marie, what's your question?
What determines how far back it goes?
Probably when you last set up when you last set up your operating system that began having the recents, which I believe was probably around 2017 or something like that, or whenever you updated.
Yeah, 2018.
Yeah, so the last, when you updated to when you updated to I believe Mojave is when it began, the recents.
Okay.
So it'll go back to about that age.
Oh, I think it's great.
Yeah, someone's mentioning that you have a date created. You can add whatever you want here. So if in Big Sur the date created exists, I am in Catalina, I could still add. I could add, like I can click in this empty space and add, and right click and add date created if I wanted to. And there it is, right? I'm gonna not do that, but you can choose what ends up here. But I'm going by the default, which says date added. Now Big Sur seems to have a default of date created. That's fine. But it's you can choose what you want to see, and right now in choices of what I want to see, in the default choices, it just shows me date last open over here. Okay, so is everyone clear about recents? It's not a place, it's just a listing of the things that are in their rightful places just by order of opening. If you have files that you haven't opened since 2004 and they are still in your computer, they don't show up in your recents. But if that file from 2004 you opened yesterday, it was still created in 2004, but you just opened it, it would be at the very top of your recents, right? even though it's a file from 2004. If you don't make any changes on it, you just open it to see it and close it. The file is still from 2004. But it would show up at the top of your recents, no matter where and what organization you have it, because you've just used it. So it's based on usability and not based on anything else. Let me, surprisingly enough, the sun left my house. The fan is actually getting cold. I had to just close my fan. Okay, so
Diana?
one last thing. So you'll never see the organizational stuff here. You won't see the folders where things belong. The only way to know where any of these in recents is by clicking it and reading the path bar, and only because I told you guys to turn on the path bar. If you hadn't turned it on, you never know no idea where these things are. All that matters is when you open it. So this is because I told you to turn it on, that you have even any idea of where it truly is. So we're not going to organize anything inside of here. If you want to delete something from here, delete it, go for it. But you know that where it's deleting from is from wherever it truly existed. I would avoid recents other than to just, if you don't know where something is, you forgot where you put your chapter 3 novel because maybe you didn't actually put it in the right place. Well, at least you can find it this way because you opened it last week. So you go to last week and there it is. But then look in the path bar and go, oh, looks like I left it on my desktop instead of in the right place. Fine, now you know how to find it, kind of thing. You know what I mean? But other than that, I personally never use it. Some people might think it's the best thing since sliced bread, who knows? I'd rather go to where I know I put things. So other than quick questions, now what we're going to do is we're going to go to our documents and well, I'm going to start the example with the downloads, and we're going to start creating these folders so that we can organize things correctly, which is what I want you to keep doing between today and next Tuesday. I'm going to show you now how to create folders, change folders, give them names, rename them, organize things, put things in places. So that's the rest of today's class. And then you get all weekend until next Tuesday to practice doing that with your files and to ask me questions, okay? I think there was a hand up somewhere.
Yeah,
No?
I wanted to find, mine has them listed. There's today, yesterday, previous 7 days, and it goes all the way back to 2017.
Yeah.
Now,
Your downloads or no, your recents.
the recents,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
this is stored in the iCloud, apparently.
No.
Is that taking up space?
The recents isn't stored anywhere. It's just a listing. So
Oh, okay.
storage
I
isn't, again, this doesn't change your storage. This doesn't change anything. It's just telling you when you open it. Now, let me explain why he's saying that he's seeing it by date, whatever. There's a way of seeing all of your files in a window that some of you have turned on, where instead of just giving you date last open and it just gives you dates, you can actually see today, yesterday, last week, last month. So it breaks it down a little bit more. And many people have that in the downloads where it says today, yesterday, down that month. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Go to recents. We'll do it here in recents so that everyone has. Do y'all have something in recents? Does everyone have something in recents?
Yes. 464, yeah.
Yeah, so it's
219.
so most, unless you, it's possible, some people don't have anything. So Donis, you mentioned you had nothing in your documents and we haven't clarified that yet. Do you have anything in your recents?
Yes.
Okay, so you do have files. Click on one of them and read in the bottom and tell me where that is, because I want to see where your stuff is if it's not in your documents.
You're saying click on the bottom one?
Okay, when you click on one of these,
Yeah.
do you see the path bar here? I remember I told you guys
yes.
to turn on the path bar. So
Uh-huh.
what does it say?
It said there's a blue file of like 6 blue files, mail downloads, and then a bunch of letters.
All right,
And
stop,
then
stop,
it ends
stop,
up with unknown
No,
dash.
stop. Can you share your screen? I know that we're in
Yeah.
a situation. Yeah, that way it's easier because otherwise it's just words that don't mean much to me. But if you share your screen, I can see what it means.
See if I can do this. Share screen. Am I sharing it?
Brianna, oh,
You have to then, you click the big share screen and now on the bottom right, you have another button that says shared. Do that second button.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm sharing. Now, Marie, was that question apropos to this or can it hold?
It can hold, but it has to do with reasons, but it can wait.
All right. So, so guys, look at her screen. She has selected something called unknown, right? Can you hit your space bar for a second to see what is in there? It's a photograph. Hit your space bar.
I hit it and I get a boop.
You get a what?
Oh, I'm not selecting it this way. There we go. Okay.
Hit space bar.
I have no idea what that is.
All right. So it's a photo that you have no idea. It's cute as it might be. You don't know how it's there. Okay. So hit the space bar again to come down. If you go down here and start tracing, see how she has a ton of little folders? This long name that she has there, that's typically something that was downloaded from either, it's either in your email or in your messages, like someone texted you this photo or emailed you this photo. So, oh, there it is. So you click on one, there it is. It's in your mail downloads. You downloaded it from your mail. Someone sent it to you and you clicked on it and it downloaded onto your computer. And that is all this, that's the whole rest of it is where all the mail downloads hide inside of that whole thing in your system folder, see? So that's all that is. So now, when you're going, I don't know who, someone on May 21 sent that to you. When you click on those photos, they download. So this is a great way to discover things that are like, so what do you do with it? Well, if you don't know what it is and you don't care about it, go to the word unknown 20, 10, 11, 10, right click and send it to the trash. Right click on that one, yeah. And put your mouse over on the word unknown 10, 12. Yeah, right click. Do you have a right click? You don't seem to have a right click working.
I thought I did.
Okay, so are you on a click away? Because now that's not a right click. You just clicked on it again. Click away. So do you click on something neutral? When I say click away, okay, go back to the word. Are you on a mouse or on a laptop?
I'm on a laptop.
Okay, so now put your 2 fingers down at the same time, like 2 fingers. You have to be doing it on top of that. You are scrolling down now, so you're moving your mouse, your hand. When you're moving like that, it does, see how I'm seeing things moving? That's because you're not just, I don't know if you can see me, but it's just quick, 2 click down, not scroll down, just click with 2 fingers. Click with 2 fingers.
Oops.
You have many of those. Click with 2 fingers. Okay, I don't know if you have your right click enabled. Go to the desktop. Go to that place where you see some ocean.
Right there?
No, ocean desktop, like the picture, way on the right side. Go to some free space of
Oh, okay. Ocean. I can figure out ocean.
yeah, put 2 fingers down and see if you can make your right click work. Yeah, it is working. So it's interesting that you're not able, so that's your right click, it's working. See if you can make that happen up there again. So click again and put, there you go, move to trash.
No,
So
is
go
that
up.
hard?
There you go. Yeah, single, okay. And that's the same thing. Someone, hit your space bar to see what it is. It's a whole bunch of those things. It's emails that people have sent you, photos that you clicked on. It's all in the same email. Probably someone who had one of those, look at all the cute things the babies do, or it's like,
It's something my brother-in-law sends me all this crap, I think.
yeah, hit the space bar again. You don't need to close, just hit space bar. And again, all of those things that are unknown, if you hit the space bar one time and now start tapping down with your arrow, hit the space bar again to see that one. Hit the space bar. Good. Now with your arrow, I'm trying to show you how to see many at a time. So go.
Okay, all right. That's the one where you,
hit your space bar. And you're seeing one. Okay, now go to your arrows and hit down arrow. No, arrows on your keyboard. Sorry, go to your keyboard. To the
Okay.
right of your space bar and hit the arrow that's the down pointing arrow. There's the next one. Down. Then the next one. So see, it's stuff that someone has been sending you by email and they're cute, whatever, but by liking them, you have, by clicking on them in your email, they download it onto your computer, okay? So now,
Uh-huh.
hit down the space bar again.
Okay.
And now select your shift, and then go up to the top one, the unknown 911, click on unknown 911. There you go. Now, all of those you don't want, so right click. So put down 2 fingers at a time.
Do you have to keep this shift down?
No, the shift is for selecting both. So you're done with that. Let go of the shift and now 2 fingers down to right click. I don't know how come you can't. You did it. Yeah, right there. 2 fingers on your mouse. Okay, the other way to do a right click then. Okay, there's another way to do a right click. If the right click isn't working for you well, go back to your mouse over the blue stuff. Put your mouse over the selected stuff. Okay, hold down the control key. And now single click. Okay, now move to trash. That's the other way to get your right. There we go. They're gone. Okay. So now click on any other one of these, screenshot, for example, right there. And that one shows you that one down there in the path bar, your screenshot is on your desktop, which is in your iCloud Drive iCloud. Now go down to the word, there's another unknown that probably shows you. See how down there in the path it's showing you where things are, you guys? Hopefully now you're doing this with your own. You don't need to stare at Donna's too much. You can be doing it yours. So
Oh, this is a PNG.
yeah, it's an image, it's a screenshot. So all screenshots get saved as PNGs. And oh, it's a screenshot of me teaching. Okay, there you go. So now hit your space bar again. And if you want to get rid of it, you again right click, which again, I just showed you. Since you have a hard time with the other right click, you can, oh, this time it worked. So move to trash. Okay, and then but you need to, you had only one selected. So that one's the one that deleted. Okay. All right. So, but see, what I really want you to see is how when you click on them, on the bottom, see this one says this, yeah, you can hit the space bar up to go up and down. If you want to move your mouse, that's fine. But see at the bottom, this one is in your desktop. It's in your iCloud Drive. How to register to SEL Online. Go ahead and click on that one. How to register SEL Online revised. Click on that. That's something I sent you. See how it's in your email? Guys, see again that whole long name? Are you all seeing how something that's in your email appears?
She's talking about that.
And if you click on the last folder, it tells you that it's there in your mail, like one next to last. See how it says mail downloads? That's when you know it's in your mail. If you need it, fine. If you don't need it, like if you want to keep this because in the future you want to read this, well, drag it to your documents to information about how to handle classes, because right now it's in your mail. If you don't need it and you don't want it, you can delete it. Okay. And I'm
But drag
going
it to my documents, I would just go like that.
yeah, so put it in your documents, your mouse going to the left until your mouse touches documents. I'm about to teach that right now. So actually, but move it, do it. Move it to documents. And there you go. So now,
Didn't go though. Didn't
yeah,
go.
it did. It did. Stop. Wait, this is a very important thing to show. So you guys look. Down in the path bar, look, where does it say it is now?
Oh, documents, huh?
In documents. Why does it still show up here? Because this isn't a place, this is a recent. So it still says May 24th, but she put it in the right place. So what changed is on the path bar. Do you all see that? That's very important. Do you all see that? Try it with another one. During pandemic, click on that one. Let's see where that one is.
Which one?
Right under during pandemic, that one.
Okay.
Okay, hit space bar down, you hit your space bar somehow. Space bar again,
What am I doing here?
space bar one more time to get rid of this. There. Okay, click on during pandemic, which is right underneath.
Okay.
Click on that.
I don't know why.
Just
So
there.
weird.
Now, that's also in your mails. You can see down there because of the list of envelopes. And if you're not sure, because there could be other reasons, there's so many, there it is, mail downloads. So someone sent this to her. Let's assume you want it. This is important, you guys. See where it is? It's in her mail downloads. If she wants it, you can now drag it to documents. Let's say you want it. If you don't want it, you can get rid of it later. So
Okay.
drag it. Now your mouse,
Yeah. Go ahead.
click and drag to documents. Yeah.
Click and drag to
And
document.
drop it. So visually, now since you're clicking on documents, you left your recents, you see that it's in documents. Go back to recent. And it was still there on during pandemic, but now if you click on it, it's kind of at the bottom. Yeah. So now there you see that it says that you've moved it to documents. Okay. Now, when you went to documents, you truly only have two things. So it seems to me that all the stuff you have probably is in your email. You truly don't have stuff in here. But now you have the two things I told you to move. So maybe most of your stuff is in your email. Go to recents. Click on the top one.
I noticed it was there. I think it's on there twice, Chrome. But anyway,
Okay, I'm looking, that one's in downloads. Don't bother opening them anymore. Now, go with your arrow down and let's start, just arrow, just go to your arrow and hit your
oh,
down
you mean this
arrow.
arrow on the
your
right.
keyboard, on your keyboard, sorry, when I
Yes.
say arrow, it's hard to say. On your keyboard, go down with your keyboard arrow. Keyboard,
Down.
okay, that one's in your downloads. See down there, I'm reading your downloads. That's in your downloads, whatever it is, go arrow down.
I don't see the word downloads.
Okay, and the path
Oh,
bar said. Donna
I'm sorry.
sees
I
that
see it.
downloads.
Sorry, I see it.
Okay, now keep doing arrow down and let's keep finding where all your stuff was. Downloads, arrow down. Mail, arrow down. Mail, arrow down.
Where do you see the word mail? Oh, you probably have a big,
The long list that you have there of folders with a number in front, that number tells me it's mail. See?
okay, all right.
Keep going down. So basically
Okay.
what you do, you don't have files in your computer. All your stuff is in your mail. You read them through your mail or you download them. See mail, mail, mail. You basically have never put files in your computer.
That's because I just recently got this. My daughter gave it to me. 'cause
Exactly.
she-
I'm just
Then
saying,
what?
because you were worried that you didn't have anything in your documents. I'm like, because
Okay.
you don't have anything in there. It's a good explanation. Now this explained it to me. You know, when you asked me, I said, well, let's go see what's happening. It's because you basically don't have anything in your documents until you start putting them yourself. Okay,
Okay.
most of your stuff you're getting by mail and leaving in the mail, not downloading it, and that's what's happening there. Okay, I'm gonna stop your sharing. Did everyone see how I did anyone get to do that with your own files? How I used her recents just as a way to discover where her things were because she has stuff in her recents, but she doesn't have any files. And that's because she's just been looking at them through her mail. So for many of you guys, that might also be happening. Okay. Before I open up and work on the next thing, I want to make sure that there's no big questions about that. Marie, yes.
Can you show us again how you added a field at the top?
Yes, and guys, don't worry too much. This is more advanced. Marie's been doing this forever.
Oh.
So if this is something that you don't want to deal with, don't. But let me show you. Over here where you have these fields. So anyone who's new and who this is getting confusing, just go la 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 la, cover your ears for a second. And in the typical, like when you're looking view by list, documents, desktop, whatever, it shows you what it wants to show you. It shows you name, date modified, size, and kind. I just did something that it's, hold on. So if you want to see something more or different than these options, go to the next empty space, right click and choose what you want to see.
Oh, right click. Okay.
That's it. All right. So I'm not going to explain that one anymore. If you got it, you got it. You did. You did.
That's, thank
Move
you.
on. So, let's head back to downloads, class files to downloads, because that's where everyone has the files that I told you about. If you are viewing things in column view, let's head back to list view. Okay. And then let's open miscellaneous files to be organized. And this time, yes, I want you to double click because I want to be only in miscellaneous files to be organized. Because here's where we have a whole bunch of stuff that we need to organize. This would be equivalent maybe to what your documents file is now or what your downloads file was. All right. So is everyone there? Now, if you
No.
were to, no, what's up?
How did we get to what you want? Miscellaneous files? I don't see that.
Okay, so go to downloads,
Yep, I got that.
class files to download,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and either
yeah.
you open it like
Yeah.
that, and there it is. It's the second folder, and you can open it that way, and you have a bunch of stuff. But since
Sure.
I don't want to deal with the rest of the stuff right now, you can either choose to see it in this mode, or you can see it in this mode. If you understand, if not, use the same as mine, because some of you might be accustomed to one mode and you're more advanced and you want to do it. If not, do the same thing as me, which is this. And now choose the files to be organized and double click so that it really opens up. And now we have only the list of what's inside of miscellaneous files to be organized. And see how up at the top it says miscellaneous files to be organized. So you should be in that folder only. Lonnie is asking, how do you get that bar on the bottom to show up? This is the path bar, and this is the status bar, and you get them to show up by going up to view, show path bar, or view, show status bar. And if you already have them, don't go there, because that's fine, you have them. But if you don't have them, then go up to view, as in where the apple is showing up on the right. This is what I showed last week. Then you would, if you don't see them, then you would see the words show path bar. That's the one that tells you where things are. And this is that's the most powerful one that we have. Show status bar is good to know how many things we have, how much space we have left. So that's important, but it's not, the crucial one is the path bar that shows you where things are. All right. And what it's showing me is that my miscellaneous files to be organized right now is in my class files to download, which is in my downloads folder, which is in, and you probably would see your name there. Mine is called Mac class, which inside of your user, which is inside of your hard drive. Just about everyone should be seeing that path. Is that so? Do you see a path that's very different? Good. Okay, Donna's is saying, yeah, everyone. You got
Same.
that? Okay. So now, let's decide what we need to do with these files. This is a sampling of miscellaneous files, as in as if these were what you had in your downloads, or as if this is what you had in your desktop, or as if this is what you had in your documents. This is just a place for you to mess things up if you do it wrong versus the files that matter to you. So all of these files have to be organized. This is an example of how, when I gave you last week, of when you go to a Costco or a Target, a place that you can buy anything from bananas to, to cars. You come into your house, you bring everything in, and it's very messed up and disorganized. And how do you find what you need? I don't know. You had to remember the file name. How many of you remember a file name of something that you wrote 3 years ago? I don't even remember the file name of something I wrote last month, right? So this finding things by name is not useful, all right? So the more useful thing is finding things by some organized set of folders. So if depending on what files you own, right, you would create different folders. So we're going to create some sample folders here for class, just because I am making the assumption that I don't know, maybe someone here is deeply into cooking, deeply into cars, deeply into boxing, who knows? And you have files about that, or maybe you don't have files about anything in particular, because your stuff, like Donna's right now, is just stuff that's in the mail. But we're going to learn how to organize them for when you do make files. Just a second, Lonnie, your hand is up. Is that from before? I think it's from before. I'm going to clear your hand. Okay, I think it's the question that I already answered. All right. So I want to be able to look at this thing and decide if I need it. So I'm going to start with the second one, which is a GIF. It's an image. So to see what it is, remember I told you last week, space bar. Oh, okay, it's a flyer. Do I need that flyer? Let's say that I do need it, that I do want this flyer. I had told you, dump it in the documents. So I told you to do that. Now, today, when Donis was showing this is very important. I want you guys to see where my mouse, the tip of this mouse, the tip of this arrow is truly important, because look, If the tip of my mouse is at the very beginning of this file, say on the icon, and I click and drag this, watch, don't do this. And I click and drag this to put it in the desktop or in the documents or whatever. See how quickly my things change color. Now watch. If instead I grab over here, which is what she was doing at the beginning, which is very reasonable. Why not grab from here? Look, I'm going to put this in my documents and see how documents and desktop and downloads, nothing is changing color. You see that? They're not accepting it because where is the tip of my mouse? It's still way back there. I'm going to move the tip. See how I grabbed it from the end? I need to move the tip of my mouse. It's as if I'm carrying a long pool noodle or something and that my hands are still in the back until I touch, there we go, with my mouse, this area, nothing livens up. When I move it away, see how it's about where the tip of my mouse is. And the tip of my mouse was still over here when I'm carrying it from the bottom or from the middle. I do this and nothing's changing, even though the thing is, I need to basically have my mouse go into the sidebar. There it is, my mouse, not that is holding by the F of conference. My mouse that is holding by the M of May has just moved into the sidebar and now I can drop. Does that make sense, you guys? It's the tip of your mouse that matters. That's why when you grab it from the beginning, very quickly, it turns up because you're already there. So now I'm going to drop it into, we want to keep this, so I'm going to drop it in documents. Let go. It went into documents. Now I let go quickly. So I am still in my miscellaneous files to be organized. And that disappeared because it went into my documents. But sometimes I'm going to click on chicken stock and decide that I want to keep this recipe. Sometimes instead of letting go quickly, we hold on. And if we hold on, then look what happened. I'm actually in my documents, like I shifted to my documents. You see that? So there it is. There's my chicken stock in my documents, but now I'm in my documents and I have to go back to my downloads and go back to my miscellaneous files to be organized to find more things to organize. Does that make sense, you guys? You have to switch back. And that's okay. You can do it either way. If you remember, if you learn to just drop really quickly, so say that I want this license TXT and I move it and hold on because I'm doing that. It's okay. Once I let go, it goes in there. Then I just need to go back. If I remember to quickly let go, then I stay in here. That's the only difference. I'm still in downloads. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, those 2 or 3 that you may be dropped in, we are dropping 2 or 3 in from here into documents. Now, that's about 5 things I just moved over. Let's undo that. What if I dropped it in a place I didn't mean to, or I don't know if I dropped it in the right place? So how do you undo something? I'm going to bring back all those files that we just dropped in there. I'm going to bring them back. And I can go and all the way up to the Apple and go to edit, undo, or I can just do a shortcut for undo, which is hold down the command key and tap the letter Z. And whoops, there it comes back. And I'm going to tap the letter Z again, and it comes back. And the letter Z, see how they're coming back? Tap the letter Z again and the letter Z again. And there we go. All my files that I just finished putting in there came back. I'm back in downloads instead of in the miscellaneous. So all the ones I just moved just came back in because I undid my last action. Now, if I undo one too many, I might undo something good, like something that you had already dragged from one place to another. So let's do it one at a time. I'm going to grab this and drag it to documents. And now I'm going to command tap the Z and the look at the name of something that I'm going to data generator contacts. I'm going to put it in documents. It disappeared. Now I'm going to do command tap the Z and the data generator appeared again. Does that make sense, you guys?
And each time it makes a noise like that. Bing.
Oh, I have mine on to make a little bing when it does it. You don't have to, you probably don't have that, but mine is like a little dong, it drops. So the undo is really Z for zebra. So it's hold down the command So here's the see, you hold down the command key and then you tap the Z. And each time you tap the Z while holding down command continuously, then each Z is one undo. So if you're holding down the command key and you tap Z, 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 you've done 3 undos. So the last 3 things you moved over come back to where they were moved from. Does that make sense? And then you let go of your command key and you're done undoing. If you only have to undo one thing, command Z, and then you keep going. So this is really important to remember, because if you moved it and dropped it in the wrong place, so say you grabbed it and you meant to drop it in documents, but you noticed that when you look in documents, it's not there, you go, oof, it didn't go there. Where is it? Well, by mistake, I ended up dropping it in desktop. But say I don't know where I dropped it. Well, good, just command Z and it's back, and then you can put it back in the right place. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because sometimes we make mistakes. We're in a hurry, we drop and we don't do it in the right place. Now, let's grab many at a time. Let's grab 3 at a time. I'm going to hold Shift, Command, and I'm holding down the Shift and I'm clicking on 5 things, these 5 things. How do you move 5 things at a time? Say you find 5 things that you need to move at a time. You grab, again, as is before, from any part of the selected area, and you drag it, and then all 5 of them move at the same time, boom. So now, if I go Command Z, all 5 come back, because it was one movement to take them, all 5 come back, not one at a time. Does that make sense? Because the action of moving 5 got undone, so all 5 came back. Yeah?
Yeah.
So I'm showing you how to move things, but I'm not yet showing you how to organize them. But just want to make sure we got the whole moving thing down first.
Can you repeat that, please?
I'm showing you how to move things. That's all I'm
Right.
doing. But they're still dropping unorganizedly, so to say. So if you go to documents, you still have an unorganized, and you might have by now tons of things here in your documents folder. Because if you did do your job of moving things from downloads and desktop into your documents, hopefully your documents right now is a mess of stuff that you decided to keep. So that's what we need to first organize. But first, we're going to keep moving the things that we want from the miscellaneous files to be organized. So let's first put all the stuff we want. All right, so let's decide. Do you remember what a CSV file was? Someone asked me today, and it's one of the ones in your organized folder. It's a spreadsheet.
It's a
Okay.
spreadsheet.
Now, an XLS or XLSX file would be an Excel spreadsheet, but it could be that you did a spreadsheet in another document. It's a comma separated values, it means, which is a spreadsheet. So if I click on the space bar, guess what I see? A spreadsheet. That's what a spreadsheet is. Spreadsheet is listings of things that could be financial budgeting, stuff like that. So Excel handles this kind of stuff. So that's what that was. I hold a space bar. Now that's .csv. The next one says .numbers, and I haven't talked about that extension yet. What is the .numbers extension? Well, if I hit space bar, it shows me the same thing. See, it's the same kind of thing. Numbers is the Mac version of Excel. So when you make something in Excel, it's .xls. When you make something in numbers, it's .numbers. So .numbers is the Apple Excel version. .pages is the Apple version of Word. .keynote is the Apple version of PowerPoint. Okay, so for some reason, instead of saying .kyt, .pjs, .nmb, which is how it would have been in the past, these 3 programs put their entire name of the program as their extension. So if you have anything that says dot numbers like this, that just, it's the same as a dot XLS, like here is an XLSX. If I do a space, it's a big one, so it's harder to see, but it's, there's another one here that's more well, Excel. That is an Excel sheet. That is an Excel sheet, which is a spreadsheet. This is an Excel sheet, which is a spreadsheet, and this is an Excel sheet. They're all different ways of spreadsheets. Data in columns and rows that's organized. It could be numbers, it could be things, it could be so much kind of information that a data program can work. Okay, so let's say that we want only to keep the CSV version, but we don't want the numbers version of that same thing. So let's do a right click and move to trash for the numbers version. But this one we did want, we can drag into our documents. Now, when we drag it to the documents, see how it's loading up to the drive. And so this thing suddenly is saying load. That little thing that's happening there is showing me that it's loading. Let me undo that for a second. That is now kind of still dealing with a load and unload, but see how it changes? Now it's got just a teensy bit left. That is a progressive, when I hover over it, it says info, so it's kind of changes, but when I point to it, it progressively shows me what's happening with the iCloud Drive when it's in process of being loaded kind of bar. If I click on it, then it shows you uploading one item. See that? It's because it's going up to the cloud. Are you able to see in the screen share this little uploading one item window?
No.
It doesn't show you because it's in a different window, but you guys do it. If you have that kind of a circle happening, if you have one, then click on it and you'll see what I mean. It'll say uploading one item. If you don't have one, it's because you need just drag something in it into your documents and you'll have one. See how now it changed shape? It's beginning to upload. When it's a bit readier, it'll go there, and when it's finally ready, it'll be at the top. If you guys do not have your documents and desktop in the cloud, you won't see this. See how it's moving? There we go. And it's almost done. And then when it's done, it's a small sliver. There you go. It disappeared. It finished uploading. See? So it depends on how fast it uploads or not. When you move things, I'm going to move it again. And there it shows up again. And oh, it went so quick, it's gone. But when it's sitting there, you can click on it and it'll tell you, if it's a big file, it'll tell you that it's uploading. People who don't have stuff in the cloud do not see that because it just moves from place to place without uploading. Someone was trying to ask me something, or was it just noise in the background? Yes, Vera?
Documents is not on my list. It doesn't match yours.
Share your screen because I wouldn't know what might be happening.
Right here.
Okay, you have your iCloud collapsed. Remember, hover over the word iCloud, a bit little, remember I told you how it could hide? Yeah, so go and click on that little arrow. There it is. That's your documents.
Okay.
You had it collapsed. Cool. All right. Anyone else have any questions? This is, she sees something different than what I have, and she asks. Anyone who does that is gonna be able to learn what is happening. If you see something different and you don't ask, then you're kind of left in this mystery of what is this person talking about? So make sure to ask me, okay? Like she just did. All right, Al? I can't hear you.
I'm in miscellaneous files
Yes.
to be organized. But the first one is Sante third birthday, farm to table, install, and the 54,358 is down about 25.
Okay, so,
files.
okay,
Upside down.
so you are seeing, I'm gonna undo. You are seeing things not by name, but you're seeing them probably by date modified or by kind or by size. So things organized.
Oh, okay. In groups, it says name.
Click on the word
Yeah.
name, and then the 5 will be the top, but if you click on it again, the Z or the V will be on top because it went upside down, see? So then you click on name again. If you have it by date modified, then these are the ones we just moved out and in. And so that's why in date mod, so click on this thing and things organize, click on this thing and things organize. So when I say this thing, I mean, oh, sorry, I'm not sharing my
Under
screen.
group, yeah.
I'm showing you something, but I'm not sharing my screen. Sorry. So things organized by what you click. So now I'm going to say click. I'm clicking the word name. And now it's by alphabetical order backwards.
Oh,
Click on the
okay.
word name, click. Now it's by numbers first, then alphabetical order. Now, some of you might have left some of these already out there, and so you don't have them.
Mhm.
But if you click on the word, for example, date modified, then a different organization happens now by alphabetical order. If you click on kind, a different kind of organization happens. And this is a good way to find things like DMGs or things like that. Because then you look here and go, oh, disk image, DMG. I still have my install flash player that I told you guys to get rid of. I haven't gotten rid of mine. So do that. Everyone go to kind and you'll see that suddenly everything organizes itself by file types. And so now we can see if we still have anything left under the D for disk image. If you do, that means you haven't gotten rid of the install flash player, which I told you not to get rid of stuff from the miscellaneous files to be organized because these were class files. So this is a good example. Do we need this one? No. No, we do not. It's from a year ago, but never mind. It's the flash player, which I've told you to get rid of. So let's right click on that and move it to the trash. So you can organize this way. Doing this, you'll find originally, Carol had a question today about a whole bunch of image files. Remember that she said at the beginning, she had many image, and then she had an underscore and a number .jpeg, and I'm writing it so you know what I mean.
Actually, their image, their IMG, but the extension is PDF. So that they're really scans and they're
Okay,
PDF files.
okay. All right, so Shusha's image underscore something something dot PDF. Okay, so that's what she's talking about when she says that. So 99% of your images are always going to be JPEGs if they come from a camera, but in her case, they come from a scanner. So they were saved either as PDF, or you could also have some things from the scanner saved as .tiff. Okay, so that's a typical image from a scanner as well. You might have some of those. I don't know. So these, if it says image in front and it says JPEG, PDF, or TIFF, or remember .gif or .png, those are all images of different types and kinds. Okay, if they're JPEGs, they are pictures, photos. And so over here by kind, look, I have 5 JPEGs. If I look here on their names, yeah, they were JPEGs. And it's easier to find all these JPEGs this way than if I had them by name, right? Where they're spread all over and I have to look at one or the other. So you can go one or the other, or you could say, I don't care for any files that are from 2 years ago. You hit date modified and then you see the files that are old. Like there's a 2002 file over here, 2008. I don't want it anymore. Now, I don't do that because I might have my favorite photo of my kid when he was 2 and it'll be old, right? But some people might care about age of their files or size, which are the really big ones. Whoa, that's a movie. It's really big. Do I want to keep it or not? Definitely. It's my cutie pie's little 3rd birthday movie. I'm going to keep it, right? So other people might go, oh no, this is a podcast of a video that I downloaded 3 years ago. I remember Al had some of those and it's huge and it's by size, I don't need it. Right click, delete. So size might be the reason you delete stuff. Okay, so you use these words up here to help you decide why you would delete something. So by kind, I look at all my different click, shift and click so that I can select all my JPEGs. And now what do I do with these JPEGs? Okay, so is everyone with me? Do you have all your JPEGs selected? Go ahead and go to kind. I'm going to show you different ways of organizing things. This is one way. All of these are, I would have had to find them otherwise by doing JPEG, hold down the command, find the other JPEG, hold down the command. Here's another one. hold down the command, there's another one. See, I could have done it this way. But see how it's much harder? I have to read each name to find the JPEGs. Here's another one, right? And I'm holding down the command. If instead I know that I want to deal with photos right now, I hit kind, and then I can easily find all my JPEGs at once. Does that make sense?
Right.
So hit kind, and then click shift click instead of command, because now they're all together, and now I've got my JPEGs. All right. If you go to your files, I'm sure you'll find JPEGs lying around. What do we do with JPEGs? Well, listen. If these are photos that in my case have names and you know what they are, that's good. If they have the names like image dash 1 2 3 4 image dash 5 6 7, you have no idea what they are, then you need to decide if they're important by doing what we did before. Hit the space bar and look at it and go, oh, this is a family. Oh, this is a family. Or the other way around. Oh, these are weird memes that someone sent me on the internet. I don't want them. So if you don't want them, don't organize them. Right click and delete them, right? Until you're left with only the ones that you want. So let's say that these we do want, yes? You might still not have names on them, and it's okay. You might not have given names. This example, people got confused when I had no names, but say that this one, instead of saying Olivia, maybe it's called image underscore 1 2 3 4 5, right? So that could be a name it has. And most typically that would be the names it would have, because it came straight out of your camera and the camera gave it that name. Does that make sense? If you know what they are, and you have 10, you can know what you are. What if you have 250? Who found many JPEGs on their computer? Many of you found many JPEGs on your computer. It's hard to know each one. So first, let's organize them. Let's just make a folder of all my JPEGs, just so that I kind of suborganize them a little bit. Does that make sense? Because believe me, many of you guys might have hundreds of them. We know that they're photos. Some of them might be photos you want like these. Some of them might be photos like the ones that Donna's shared, that her brother-in-law or brother sent with, you know, trees crashing. Fine, cute. You see them once, but you don't want to keep them on your computer. Ha ha, you laughed when you saw the puppies holding the kid, and then you're done with it, right? So
Diane, I'm sorry to interrupt real quick, but yeah, I have hundreds here.
yeah.
And just because they're here in the downloads, does that mean they're also in my photos?
Well, no, that's the point. If they're in your downloads, 99% possibility that they're still only in your downloads, that they're not in your photos. So I'm going to explain this. What she means by photos is the Photos app. So if they're in your downloads, they came into your computer by downloading them, either through an email, from the internet, you downloaded it. That's the only reason that you're in your downloads. Okay. So we're talking about downloads here, not about photos that are in your documents or anywhere else. If they're in your downloads, they did not come from your phone. They did not come from your camera. If they're in the downloads, they came because somehow or another they got downloaded from the internet or from email. Does that make sense? You guys?
Yeah, well, it does, but I know that some of these pictures that I have on here were actually taken from my phone, and this is where they're at on the downloads.
All right.
I was out at a birthday party, and I shot some pictures, and boom, they landed on my computer. But okay.
Okay, so let me explain. There's things that can be misdirected, and we'll find that out. But what if there could be that they were photos of a birthday party that you sent to someone by text or by email, and then when you were looking at your own email, you clicked on it and somehow you re-downloaded it, something like that. But I need to explain first what happens with photos. So I haven't yet explained the Photos app, so let me do this. When your phone and your cloud, remember the first few classes that I told you guys, who Susan, for example, that I told you to go look at the email that explained, I told you guys to look at the intro to that class where I explained the cloud, and then this beginning week of this class, we spent some time going to the cloud and seeing if the check mark was on or off or that kind of thing. Remember that? on the photos and the cloud drive and that stuff? Okay. If all your check marks are on, any photo taken with your phone went to the cloud and went into your computer, into the Photos app, the app called Photos. Those photos will not show up here in your downloads. They've just done this direct route. So the photos are in your computer, but you do not see them here in your downloads. Does that make sense? Then, if you actually have the little, Susan, you're one of the ones who mentioned you had a little minus, right? Next to the app. Then the photos enter into your Photos app in a different way. You actually have to, you have something else turned on, and I don't want to go into the Photos app right now, but the photos enter your app in your Photos a different way. But there's a third chance that you did have it off completely and the photos are only on your phone, and the only way for them to get into your computer is if you sync them into the Photos app. If none of those three things happens, then the only other way to get photos into your computer would be because you downloaded them from the internet or from an email or from a text message. Like maybe you texted these photos and brought them back in that way. We're gonna spend a minute exploring your computer to figure out what they're doing there. Or they are old photos that you brought in having plugged in a flash drive and transferred them to your computer because someone gave you photos that they took. There's all these different reasons that you have photos. You have a big old camera that has an SD card, and you plug that into your computer, and those things ended up downloading instead of putting them in the Photos app. So for many reasons, you might have JPEGs in your computer. Normally they wouldn't be the ones on your phone, so we're going to go check and see the path that yours made. All of these, if you have 200 of them, you don't want to put them in your Photos app right now because you don't know what they are. If you do know what they are and you do want them and you know you want to keep them. Okay, so this is for those of you who have checked them all out and know what to do. So don't do this. Don't do what I'm about to do. I don't want you putting these photos in that. But let me show you. If you do know, say that this is a photo that you want to keep. Let me reshare my entire desktop now. So you found photos that you really, really, really want. I'm going to decide that I want this forever. So I'm going to put it in my Photos app. So in the desktop here, you see how I have a Photos app? These are photos that you want to keep and you want to organize. So it's not been used right now. So the first time I open it, it'll tell me get started, right? Yours probably has photos in it already, even if you never used this Photos app. If you use the cloud system and you do this, you'll see that all your photos are here. So I'm gonna go ahead and say not now to this right now, just so that we can see. So you might have some photos in here or not. I have some. Okay, now I'm not gonna bother to explain the Photos app right now. I'm just showing you that this is a way to see photos that you have on your computer, right? So how do you put photos from, and I'm gonna just cover this so you don't get confused by looking at that. How do I put this photo, if it's 1 or 2 photos, into that Photos app? Because I want it to be visible and organizable. I'll grab it, for example, one way I can grab it and right click. And I'm just seeing if the right click works. No, because this is in my phone. The right click doesn't work. Okay. So you drag it. Drag it is not something that's easy to do for everyone. And I'm just going to put it like that, like boom. And see what I'm doing? I'm just dragging it to the Photos icon and I'm letting go. So for those of you for whom that is easy or comfortable to do, if I go into my imports in my Photos app, there it is. I just imported that photo, which if you remember, that was it. And when I go now into my Photos app, there it is. It's in my Photos app. Okay. Now here's the deal. This that I just did implies you knowing how to use the Photos app. And I haven't taught you that. I told you already that you need to take the iLife, what's the name again? Living the iLife class. where I teach photos. There you go. So I can teach you all about how to use this app, which helps you organize and totally catalog every single thing you want to do. Now, if the image, on the other hand, and this is only for Carol, is an image that's a PDF, the PDFs, if you try to put them in here, there's a problem because PDF, not a photo. It's a file. And see, I tried to put it in there and it's not working. Okay. So yours are scans, but are PDFs, which is weird. Normally you would have scanned as a TIFF. I don't know why it's scanned as a PDF. So now it's a file. It's not a photo. Okay. So I'm just, later I'll talk more to Carol about it. But right now I'm trying to deal with JPEGs, which is what 99% of you guys have. So
Fiona,
hold
excuse
on.
me. Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
It should be helpful. I found out that if you go to YouTube and you do the little magnifying glass searching and you put in SBCC, then there's a bunch of stuff pops up, including recordings of your Living the I life from years before.
Yeah, this whole session, I believe in the spring I taught, no, when was it that I taught? In the fall, last fall, I taught Living the I life. So the recordings for that are still available. I don't take my recordings down. So if you want to do that, but you would only find that inside of the pipeline. Yeah, not inside of.
No, I
YouTube.
just went straight to YouTube and I typed in SBCC and it went right there.
Did you subscribe to my channel?
Yeah, I think I did.
Okay, yeah, because otherwise you can't. Anyway, so yeah, so if you want to just, ideally, that's not the way to do it, but technically those are only for people who are in the class, but yeah. Yeah, so my recordings are there, and the other day they asked me when I was going to take, someone asked me when I was taking them down. I said I haven't taken them down, but I was told by the college that I probably should be taking them down. So sometime at the end of this fall, before the fall starts, I might be taking down last year's. I'll leave the spring ones there, but I'll take out last summer's and last fall's. So you have time until the fall. All right, so this is what you do with photos that you want to keep. Okay, you put them in the Photos app. Now, I don't want to teach you the Photos app right now, but here's here's what I was trying to say. Here's the problem, and this is based on Susan's question. Now, if I look at the photos, it's in my app now, and it's still here. That called Family Crop is there, and it's in my photos. So now, for the first time, I actually do have a duplicate. This is not good. If you put it in here, that has gone to where it should go. Okay. So what you want to do now is get rid of it from here. Send it to the trash. You guys might be like, oh, but in the trash. It's just that if it's in the trash, if you leave it here, you have two versions of it and it gets really confusing, and this really fills up your computer with stuff. If you have it in here in the app, you don't want it anymore in your downloads because this is duplicates. You've just added a whole version of it. Now, since I can't teach you, I'm going to quit photos. Since I can't teach you the Photos app right now, if you don't trust to delete it because you don't know, then my solution when I teach this class is for people to put all of these JPEGs in a folder called JPEGs to be reviewed, pictures to be decided what to do with, kind of thing. And then as you start to learn how to use the Photos app, then when you put them in the Photos app, then you can delete them from here. Does that make sense? Kind of like on hold.
So you take, you make a JPEG folder.
Yeah, so now I'm going to teach you how to make that folder.
Okay.
So two ways to make a folder. One way, when they're already selected, as I already taught you. Okay, so let's select only 3. Click away and select the first 3. There's 5 JPEGs. Select the first 3. One way to make a folder is pre-selecting, as we're doing right now. And you, once again, click away if you already had a selection made, and then select the top one, hold down Shift, and then the third one. That way you have 3 of them. Okay, so now you can right click and make a new folder with that selection of 3 items. If you don't like right clicks, then go up to with those 3 selected, go up to the icon of Finder and File and say new folder with selection, 3 items. Either way, when you do that, now you get a new folder with items. Now, when that name is like that, which is sub-highlighted, you can just right now go to your keyboard and write JPEGs to be reviewed, for example, right? Now, if perchance you had already clicked away and the file ended up being new folder with items, I'll teach you now how to change the name. But go ahead and open it and see. Do you see how now we have a folder with my JPEGs in it? So for some of you it worked, for some of you it didn't. We're going to do this many times. So new folder with items. If it's got the right name, yay. If it doesn't, if it's midway because the name you started writing and it got all messed up, click away, right? And now let's go fix that name. So even if you wrote the right name, let's assume you did the wrong thing. So we're going to change the name because most typically when you write the name, either you get a typo, you get a mess, something happens. So go to this folder. Did everyone create one folder?
Are we supposed to be doing this with your example? Are we supposed to be in our own?
I always want you guys to mess up with mine and then you do it on your own.
Oh, okay.
Because
Can you repeat how we get the new folder?
okay, so guys, when I'm demoing things, I'm always going to demo with my files because what if you mess something up and this is the photo of your daughter's wedding? That's why I gave you my files that you don't care about and that don't matter to you. Okay, so
where are we at right now in your thing?
What's that?
I was doing it in mine, but I need to go back to yours.
You're welcome to do it in yours if you feel secure. I'm just trying to do it in mine.
No, I'll do it with you.
The other reason I use mine is because maybe five of you have JPEGs and 20 of you don't, right? So I'm showing you things that I know everyone has because they're in my miscellaneous files to be organized. And but
How do I make your screen bigger?
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Whenever I go to showing my whole desktop is when I need to show something else, like I was showing the photos, but now that I only need to show this, thanks for the reminder to make it back to being just this window. Okay, so now I selected 2 or 3 of my JPEGs. And it's not because it's a JPEG, I could do this with any file, but I'm choosing to make a folder for JPEGs, right? So that's why I chose 2 or 3 of my JPEGs. The easy way to do that, instead of having them organized by name, I had them organized by kind. So I found them all together, but whichever way you organize them. Now I've selected 3 of them. Now I can right click, for those of you who like the right click, and say new folder with items. If people don't like to right click, I can't show it now because I'm showing this window, but go up to File, new folder with 3 items there. And when you do that, a new folder gets created. See how right now the name is kind of light blue? That means it's selected. If right now I go straight to my keyboard, don't click, don't do anything, just look at your keyboard and say JPEG files to be organized, for example, right? Because it's a bunch of photos that you still don't know if they're the tree trunk on the car or if your daughter's wedding. They're important to you. So right now you just want to put them all in a box to say organize later. So once you put the right name in, you hit the space bar or you click away and it's gone. Now say that you made a mistake and you didn't write it well. So all of us, even if you read it correctly, we're going to say that we made a mistake. So how do we change that name? Well, one way is to hover over it again, say that you click away, you select it. You hover over it again, for those of you who like right clicks, right click over it, and you need to have your mouse over it, right click, and say rename. and it gets all lit up again and you get to rewrite it. Or if you only made one mistake, I wanted to write to organize, I can just click in there and now I can just take one word out and then take another one out and then hit return again. Or another way to do this is just put your mouse over the name. Just put your mouse over the name. If it's selected, one more click and the name lights up. And this is sometimes the name lights up by mistake and you don't know why. And it's because instead of double clicking, you just did a single click and the name lights up. Then you're about to lose the name of that file. So click on the name. Instead of right clicking rename, just click one more time. And there it is. Now you can rewrite JPEGs, miscellaneous, you know, whatever you want to write them. Okay. JPEGs, I found, you know, give whatever name you want. I'm going to call them just JPEGs to be organized. That's the name I'm going to give them. Hit return or enter. Has everyone successfully made one folder that has a name that is relatively correct?
Yes.
Now, if you twirl it open, you'll see that hopefully those 3 files are in there, but we left some other JPEGs not in there. So how do I get more things in there? Well, I'll go find this other JPEG and I'll just drag it up there and see that is not blue right now. I've got this blue. When I'm pointing onto the JPEG and it's blue, I let go and there you go. I put that one in there. Now I go to the last JPEG and I drag it in and I put that in there. Any other photo that I find, I can keep putting in there. Does that make sense, you guys? If I twirl this down, now all my JPEGs are nice and tidy in one folder. This folder is still in my downloads though, because I'm having you guys organize it here. But you can then drag the whole folder at once to your documents. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Lost me.
Okay, who said that and where are you at that I said?
I said that.
Okay, so where did I lose you? At the making of the folder or at
I was trying to follow where you were on your screen. Family crop. I'm trying to find that.
I'm gonna put the little spotlight on.
Family crop. Okay.
So here I have my JPEG to be organized. Those 3 came in automatically because I made a selection at first and made a folder with my items that were already selected. So those 3 entered in there. Did that work for you?
So I'm highlighting on the family crop JPEG. And do I click on that and then drag it up to another JPEG?
Let me undo that. No, let me undo what I did. The first thing I did is I had, I'm gonna take them out again. Give me a sec. The first thing I did is I selected more than one. I could also select one, but see how it doesn't say make a folder with one? So one doesn't work for this. You need at least 2. That's why I had to select 3.
All right, well, I'm trying to find the other 2 or 3 right here.
So when you have 2 or 3 selected, then you can right click on any part of this selection and you can then choose new folder with selection. Is that working out for you?
No, I'm just trying to find, I'm just trying to find some other JPEGs.
Oh, well, there were just 2 more, Olivia and Santi, that you can find by doing kinder. So you had done this part. I'm sorry, I thought you hadn't done this part. So I'm doing that again. JPEGs to be organized. Okay, so then I found down here another one called Olivia, another called Santi. So if you're organizing by name, go to name and suddenly your folder ended up in JPEG to be organized. See that? Because it's a J, it's after Jesse Mask license. If you have it by date modified, then it's at the top because we just modified it, right? If you have it by kind, then it's at the top because folders are above all the other JPEGs. But if you go by kind, then you will see some other JPEGs here and there if you haven't put them all in there. And guys, then you grab the other JPEG and you just drag it and drop it when it gets dark. You drop it and then you drop it. And now I have all 5 of them in there. Okay. Try it with something else. Grab anything else just to try putting it into JPEG to be organized, because now I want you guys to learn how to take something out if by mistake you put it in there. So now let's put something else in there. and practice. Grab something and drop it when you see the name turn blue. Now, when I stay there too long, then the same thing happens. I've moved to that folder. See, I'm in JPEG to be organized, and I've moved out of the other one. That's okay. If that happened, go give it a little backwards arrow and you're back to where you were before. Now I have a bunch of stuff in here that are not JPEGs that I just put in. I want to get rid of them, right? They're not supposed to be here. Does that make sense? Things
Yeah.
happen by mistake. If it's closed, I can't see that I put in things by mistake. If I open it, I can see things by mistake. Okay, so I can grab one that doesn't belong there, and I need to take it out. And how do I take it out? I need to make sure it's not inside of this blue thing so that I can take it out above or beyond. I like above. I'll grab this one and move it up. See how now above this, one bit higher up, like a blue line hangs out outside of this thing. When I drop it there, it went back. Or I can just take it out here and drop it down here and it got out. I can just move it out as long as that JPEG isn't selected anymore. As soon as that stops being blue, I've taken it out. Does that make sense? So from the top, from the bottom, as long as JPEG is not, then I put them back out. Did you try to put things in and out? Put something in again? And then to take it out, you just need to, when JPEG is not blue anymore, down here, see how JPEG stops being blue? That means I'm putting it back in miscellaneous files to be organized. Is that working for you guys? This is why I want you to do this with my files, because if they mess up or they work or don't work. Now, if some of you guys double click by mistake, then a file will say, I can't open the file, or suddenly Excel will start to open if you have Excel. That's because you double click. So try not to double click. If that happens, just say cancel. And then put it in there and then put it out there. Now we have other folders that we can make so that we can organize things. So let's say that now the next folder that we want to do is some work files. And I'm going to make a folder called work files just because your work might be, I don't know, sewing, or you might be an artist or be a writer. I don't know. Or you might not have, we might volunteer and you get like, you know, documents from the organization you volunteer for. I don't know what you guys are up to. So your folders will be your own. That's what you'll do over the weekend. Right now, in this mess here, we're going to put some of my own. So this time, so say that I close this or open this, it doesn't matter. This is still all in the downloads folder. I'm going to make another folder now with nothing in it. And we're going to drag, this time it's just a folder that I want for my thing. So say I want to, like when you pre-label a bunch of boxes and then you start putting the things in them, right? So I'm going to make a folder with nothing in it now. No pre-selection. I'm going to go down here where there's nothing. See how there's an empty area? I'm going to right click. I'm going to say new folder. If you don't like right clicks, some people don't like right clicks, then go up to file and say new folder. The only important thing is that nothing should be selected. Don't have anything selected. Click, everything has to be deselected by clicking on some neutral area. If you click here, you're selecting, no matter that it's not the file name. Click on some neutral empty area. Now say file, new folder from the very top, or right click new folder. And now it says untitled folder.
Diane, could you just do that again real quick? You had a picture of somebody up on the screen and then I got rid of it because I couldn't see what you were doing.
I have a picture.
There was a photograph of your family or something up there. It's gone now. I clicked off of it.
Okay. So I'm going to some neutral area. If there's things clicked, that's not neutral. We want to make a folder with nothing there. So click on some blank area.
How do you get to neutral? I don't have a empty space at the bottom of my
You're not, if you're not inside of miscellaneous files to organize, so say you've got a ton of stuff open like that and you don't have anything neutral, right? Right now, I have, if you can't pull your window a bit bigger, right?
Leon tried making his window bigger and it didn't bring any.
Oh yeah, if you make it bigger and there's nothing there, nothing empty, right?
No.
then you can just hit back downloads. So say you have something selected here and you have no neutral area to unclick, then go back to like switch to desktop and back to downloads or something like that. And then that switching deselected everything, right? And then you can go up to file, new folder to make a new folder that way. I was inside of miscellaneous files, so I had some space, but say I didn't have space, then you can still go instead of with the shortcuts, you can go up, and I'm aware that it's almost 4:40, so just go up to the file up by the apple and say file new folder that way, and then you get a folder that
Right.
way.
All right.
Right, and now let's call this one work files, right? So I'm gonna call this one work. And notice that I made a typo and I've clicked either some neutral area or I've hit return. So now that's the name, right? So how do I change that name? No panic, just click on it one time to select and one time more, and there it's brightly lit up again. And now I'm ready to write work again, okay? So that's renaming it. Or I could have right clicked and said rename, and then I write work again, okay? So now what files are work? Let me see. This is a conference I want to attend. I need to put it in work. I don't want to get rid of it. So once again, drag it into work. Generator for contacts. Those are contacts I need. So I'll put it in work. Quarter to sales results. Let's put it in work. So let's just grab some files that are work, this numbers, the numbers one, and I'll put it in work. Now you might be seeing all this by name. See it by name. You'll notice that JPEG to reorganize it there, and work is the last one because it's a W. So remember, alphabetical order when it's by name. So then you, very important document, you put it in work. So now I've put like 5 things inside of work. So see how I'm beginning to organize my stuff? Now, within work, I might have some things that go that are to be done, some that are done, some that are contracts, some that are whatever. I can keep putting folders within folders. We're going to keep working with that next week. But right now, I just want some main folders to get rid of the majority of this stuff. So you need to begin to think of your documents folder and see what you have in here and decide what folders you need to make. Now, this is important to me, for me to explain. I have, as you saw, bazillions of gigabytes in my screen, in my real computer. But when you go to the documents folder, I have maybe 10 folders max. I don't remember right now. So within those 10 folders, I have one called personal, another one called my business name, another one called SBCC, another one called, trying to remember, it's not that many. I have like maybe 7 main folders, right? Because I don't want to have hundreds of stuff in my documents. I've divided it pretty equally. And then when I'm going to teach my classes, I double click on my SBCC folder, or I open it up by twirling, and inside of that SBCC folder, I have administrative stuff, you know, reports, attendance, that kind of thing. And then I have a folder in there that says reports, another that says attendance, another that says email, whatever. Then I have another folder with all my classes, one for the Mac, a folder called Mac. Inside of that, Intro to Mac, Mac level 1, Mac level 2, iLife, photo, like all my different photos. So I subdivide, but really in the documents, I only have a certain amount of folders that make sense for my life, right? So what I want you guys to do is homework, and it's 4:41, so let's finish this. I want you to decide what folders are your main folders of stuff. What do you have in your documents? Do you have photos that you don't know what to do with? Make a folder called photos. I don't know what to do with. Throw them all in there. If you have lots of documents from your lawyer, contract, real estate that you own, make a folder called real estate. vacation information, make a folder called, like, find main folders that kind of define the kind of work that you do. Does that make sense?
As you can see,
Kind of files that you have.
I'm at the beach.
So here's the homework.
And
Make
we're making, these
folders.
documents- we're making all. these
Hold on, I'm writing. So make folders in your documents folder that represent your files, right? Like, what kind of things would you want to keep? Financial files. Inside of financial, maybe you have things about retirement. Maybe you have things about investments. Maybe you have things about taxes. Maybe you have a folder about health, and you have files about how to take care of your cholesterol, how to do stretches, how to bring down your blood pressure. Who knows what you have in there? Maybe you don't have any of those files. I'm just saying, I don't know what you have. Just find a way to organize them in a certain amount of folders that make sense. Now, if you have a folder such as financial, that's one of my folders, then inside of that one, you might want to have, taxes, or you might have investments, right? Or something like that, or you might have retirement, right? So those would be folders inside of folders. And we're going to talk more about that, right? But the main one would be financial. Does that make sense, you guys? So the example in my downloads that I have is miscellaneous downloads to download is all messed up. Recipes is organized. Inside of recipes, I have appetizers, desserts, entrees, soups. Only someone who's a real avid cook would do that. Inside of soups, I have not that many soups, so I just have the final files. But inside of entrees, whoa, I have so many recipes that I have a folder for chicken, a folder for, beef. I don't know why this is beef. A folder for vegetables, or maybe this one is, pastas or something like that, right? And now you know how I'm changing the name, right? I'm clicking and then I'm writing another name. So that's how I'm rewriting these. Okay, so this is chicken, pastas, vegetables, right? This one can be meats, pasta, and vegetables, right? So I'm just changing the folder names, but basically, if I don't like that change, how would I undo that change that I just made?
Command Z.
Command Z. The meat turned back into chicken. Command Z. Pastas just turned back into beef. Command Z. Beef turned back into meat. All the changes I had just made, I just undid. Command Z, Z, Z. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So those were my last actions that I just changed really quickly, all of them when I was talking to you, and boom, 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 I undid them all again, right? So you guys can make either some main files like that, or you can put files within files. We're gonna work more. Another example would be family files, where, as you saw, inside of dad, daughter, and mom, mom has all of this. Dad, and this is very stereotypical, but anyway, daughter has this, dad has that. So that would be main types of folders if this were the dad's documents and this were the daughter's documents, okay? Inside of health, insurance information. Inside of work, clients and projects and loose invoices or taxes, each year's taxes. Inside of taxes, you might want to have a folder for invoices, receipts, if you really itemize, right? So you can go crazy creating this structure. Right now, all I want is the main folders that represent the kind of material you have, and I want you to put that in your documents. Now, once you do that, then inside of that, so just like we did with miscellaneous files, you start putting in there. Is this a work file? Put it in there. Is it a health file? Put it in the health. So you can make them here. You can make the folders right now here. You can make a new folder and call it financial, right? And then put in some things in there and then drag it to documents. There you go. Now I go to documents and there's my financial folder. And now I can begin to drag in there all the stuff that I have for financial. I'm gonna go back to downloads to miscellaneous files. I can drag this JPEGs to be organized and put them all in my documents, and all at once, everything that was in there has moved. So now this JPEGs to be organized, they're all in my documents waiting to be organized, okay? And so on and so forth. So all that stuff I made you throw in here, you could into organize. You could have a folder called things I want to access quickly. Or things that I want to keep on my desktop. And I'm just saying that because I told you guys to put everything that was on your desktop. I also told you to put it in here. So if you did that right, you would have grabbed all of this and dragged it to your documents. That's what I wanted you to do. I want your desktop to be empty. But now when you look at your documents, I want you to go, oh God, I really wish all of this, I really, really want them on my desktop because I don't know yet how to find them any other way. Okay, throw that one in there. Things that I want to keep on my desktop. Then next week, we're going to talk about how we can make that one go back into your desktop in such a way that it doesn't mess up your computer. Does that make sense?
Well,
Try that by next Tuesday. You just have folders. Maybe you made 10, maybe you made 20, maybe you made 2. But if you have like trip to Asia, trip to Malaysia, trip to Indonesia, well, Malaysia and Indonesia should both be inside of Asia, right? So try not to have bazillions of folders that can be all then put into one, right? Like you want to have main folders that hold subfolders. We're going to talk more about it. But right now, my goal is that you have an empty downloads folder by next week, except for, of course, again, the class files to download that we're learning with, and an empty desktop.
what's the benefit of an empty desktop?
Your computer working better.
So is there a
Definite.
one-shot way to get the whole, if I want to empty my desktop right now, is
Mhm.
there a quick and easy,
Yeah. You go to your desktop,
I'm there.
you select everything. You go from the top to the bottom, you select everything that's on it. You can also do a select all, which is Command A, which selects all for sure. And then you drag them all to documents. But more importantly, I would make a folder of them. Make all of this, do right click, new folder, and say, from my desktop, right? So everything that's on your desktop is now called from my desktop, and drag it all to your documents.
Well,
That's
it
it.
started preparing to move to new folder, but it didn't even let me name it. It just did it.
What?
It's saying preparing to move to new folder, and the line is going back and forth. but it-
Oh, that's because you had so much stuff on your desktop that it's preparing to move, and it's got I only had a few things, but yours probably had tons of big files, and so it's preparing. When it's done, it'll be done. Might take 2
Done.
minutes, it might take 20.
48
it's done-
gigabytes, done. Oh.
Done. Now drag that to your documents like I just did. And now it's called from my desktop. See? And now we're going to open that in your documents and we're going to begin to organize that. So if very least, if you haven't yet done it, do that. Go to your desktop. Okay. And now I know that go to your desktop and all your loose stuff, right? All your loose stuff, select it all, which the shortcut is Command A, otherwise go to the top bottom. But if you have hundreds of things, you might need to do file, edit, select all, Command A. So that takes all of them. And then do this, what we did, right click, new folder with selection, and call it from my desktop. So you know that this is the stuff you had and now you want to reorganize. And then from your desktop, drag everything to your documents. Cool. That accomplishes the nothing's on my desktop anymore. Now it's in your documents. Now from here, from my desktop, you'll get to open it up and go, well, this I really wanted back. This is okay. This really is a file that shouldn't have been on my desktop. I'm going to put it with my work files. This one is, you know what I mean? And then the ones that truly, truly, truly do need to stay on your desktop, I'll teach you how to do that in a way that's more important. Okay, Marie?
No,
Everyone?
nothing.
All right, everyone's okay?
No, I have a question, Leslie.
Okay, let me stop for a minute. Everyone who needs to go can go, class finished. I did tell 2 or 3 of you guys that I had to show you, maybe, let's see if we can get those triangles back. So if you want extra questions that you need to ask me now, stay. But other than that, you'll have your homework. Make folders to try to organize your stuff, empty your desktop, empty your downloads, trash, organize as much as you can. Tuesday, we'll talk again. All right. And now if you have questions like Leslie or anyone else, please stay. All right,
Thank you,
Leslie, what's your
Tiana.
question? You're welcome.
I've already moved it. It's done.
Cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye, guys.
Diane, I'm at the section where I just moved everything to my desktop,
Mhm.
highlighted everything, right-clicked. Now it says it moved everything into this new folder. So now it says new folder with items. Now I want to write desktop up there.
Yeah, so now click one more time in there or right click and see rename and say from my desktop. Don't just say desktop because the word desktop is taken by the place desktop and it's really confusing. So just say from my desktop or used to be on my desktop or something like that. Because if you just say desktop, then it's like, is that your desktop folder? You know what I mean?
Well, I'm not, okay, I'm right. Okay, it says new folder with items.
Yeah, so click one more time or right click and say rename and then say,
Do I scroll back or do I have to do anything? Just type in over that?
just type in over that.
Okay. And I put what again?
From my desktop.
Okay,
And then drag that entire folder, once it's ready to go, into your documents.
yeah, I like that. Yeah, okay. Okay, and then drag that into my documents.
Yeah. Mhm. And now, when you have time, you look through that and you go, you know what, this one I still want on my desktop. Don't drag it back to your desktop. Make a folder, say, I really want this one in my desktop, call it, and then drag that in there. And then next week, I'll tell you what to do with those files that you really, really still want on your desktop.
Okay, it's
And
not
if you
doing that.
discover that you don't want any because it was just a crutch, then I'll tell you how to organize them and how to access them quickly without having to have them on your desktop.
All right, I'm trying to drag this in here into my desktop, into my documents, but it's not dragging.
Well, do you want to share your screen? Because I don't know what's happening. Because
Well,
I want to make sure that you are not trying to drag your desktop folder into your documents. That won't happen. So share your screen. I just
okay.
want to make sure that you're not. The computer's desktop and the computer's documents folder, they don't drag into each other. Okay, so this is in your desktop, good. And it is, now you put it in from your desktop, okay. So when you say it's not dragging, go grab from my desktop, go grab that little blue folder, put your mouse on it, yeah. And now take it and drop it, drag it down until you touch the Word documents and let go, yeah. There you go, perfect. It
So
moved.
underneath, what happened here underneath here is just from my desktop.
Oh, you made something there. Click on that. Yeah. Go ahead and drag that out of the, remove that, like, I'll tell you what yeah, move it out. Yeah, keep going until it removes. Yeah, drag it out there, let go. Perfect. Now go to your documents. Yeah, and now alphabetically, since you have so much stuff, without folders, it's hard to find, but if you go alphabetically over to your F, if you're looking at things alphabetically, go and click on name to make sure, then drag to your F. That's, now go to your F and you should see a folder called From My Desktop. So scroll
F.
scroll all the way to your F.
From
See,
my
this is an example, guys, of having so much stuff that you definitely need organization, right?
Yes.
So now you're at the R, go scroll up a bit until you're at the F somehow. Yeah, M, H, F. You're at the F, R, there it is. Now I see it, it's almost at the bottom. There it is. Now you can barely read your names. Can you go up and make that much bigger? Like between the word name and data modified way at the top? Put your mouse to the right, a little bit to the left of the word data modified, that line. Put your mouse, yeah, up, where you were. To the right, no. Yeah, now there's a line, but right to the left. Yeah, now go drag that open. Oh, finally you can see what those files are. See?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, so now from my desktop is alphabetically way in there, right? If you twirl that open, you should see all your desktop files. Okay, so scroll up and that's all the stuff you had on your desktop. Okay, you had folders, you had files, they're all gone from your desktop. Now there they are all
Okay.
in your documents. Okay, now that kind of thing that were all photos, that kind of thing is truly not good to have on your desktop. So now that's good. Now you can swirl that closed, so to say, close, collapse that little triangle from my desktop. Now you have urgent need to do this same thing to a lot of your other files. You need to make big folders and start to figure out all the Fs. Where do they go? Are they, sermons? I'm just guessing by your name. What are they, right? So then put them in a folder called that. If they are blessings, put a folder of blessings in there, right? Just start organizing so that in this documents folder, you'll have maybe one folder called blessings. Maybe all of those are blessings. Maybe everything goes into one thing called blessings. I don't know. But it's probable that you have other stuff in there. And by the time you're done, you might have maybe 5 or 20 folders, but not 100. Like what's that? 554 items. I can't read the number, but tons of stuff.
664.
So you want to end up with 5 to 10 to 12, I don't know, folders in here. And then when you click on blessings, you might have 200 blessings, and prayers, you might have 200 prayers. I don't know. I'm guessing here, so I'm ad-libbing it to what you might have. But that's hopefully the way you're going to sub-organize, okay?
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Leslie was trying to ask me a question before, so I want to.
Well, I was doing really good, but maybe I'm just tired. But I wanted to move some documents to downloads just to practice, but then the download icon over here disappears.
Okay, so share your screen. And by the way, to practice, you have my stuff. Just don't practice with your stuff in case it's important. And when you're practicing, things can get lost.
Okay, well, let me go back to your stuff again then. But it was, I don't know what happened. Let's see.
Try to share your screen. I do want
Downloads, yeah.
to be
I'm just trying to find your stuff again.
Well,
class, here's the C.
I just want to make sure you can share your screen.
Yeah, I can. There's no problem with that. I just want to try to get back to your stuff.
Well, then let me help someone else unless you're not willing, until you're willing.
No, I am. I'm just was trying to save time here.
I know. It's probably.
Share screen. Here we go.
Unit, perfect. And then the second button of share screen on the right, perfect.
Okay, now I want to get to you. So I'm going to go to downloads.
Okay, so hold on. I'm looking at, you have it. So this is.
I'm on mine now. I have to get to you, the class deal.
Stop. Let me speak for a minute. In your downloads, you have huge amounts of movies and photos, all right? And they're all from May 6th. So do you?
Well, that's because my computer just got reset up on May 6th. So
okay, got it. Do you know why you have so many photos?
Yeah, because I saved them on my desktop because I didn't know what I was doing. So I know what I'm supposed to do now, but
okay.
I want to find your thing. I don't want mine. Where's the class? Here it is, because I want to practice on you.
Got it. So you were saying that you were trying to move things just to practice. You said you were going to move things from your documents to your downloads. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, but then the document, this disappears.
What disappears?
You don't have me up, I guess, huh?
I do. I am seeing downloads right there. So I'm asking you, what is disappearing?
Okay, so let's say I want to take under dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and let's say I want to move this.
Yeah.
To downloads.
Oh, because it is already in downloads.
You are. But I was on mine. I was in documents and I wanted to move it to downloads.
Okay, so grab one of these.
Okay, so I'm back in mine. I'll just take anything. It doesn't really matter. None of this is important to me.
click on one that okay, and put it in downloads. And it's called draft community use. Okay. so
Well, I
now go
wonder
to-
why it disappeared before when I was trying to do it.
Well, it disappeared from documents.
No, the actual downloads disappeared, so I couldn't put
Okay.
anything into it.
All right, so hold on. What you're doing now won't work because you're moving from downloads into downloads. The first one did work, okay?
Oh, I
So
thought
now
I
you-
was in,
Okay,
Documents.
stop. Wait, you're doing stuff and things are happening. I'm trying to explain to you what is happening because you keep clicking. Hold on. Go back. Here you had something that was called D something and you moved it to downloads, from documents to downloads. It moved. Go down to downloads and you'll see it. Click on downloads and from here to downloads it moved. If you go see your D now, that file, if you're seeing your C's. So if you scroll down a little bit more in the download, scroll a bit more down, tease a bit more. And there it was that draft community use. See, that you did move from document to downloads. But the second one that you were trying to move, which was a companion, whatever, you tried to move it from downloads to downloads, but it didn't move because it was already in downloads. But
is
what
that
happened?
what I was
Wait,
doing? All right, I
wait,
guess I'm just
wait,
tired.
Wait, don't speak over me, please. I'm trying to show you what happened. Scroll down again because you scrolled away and I was about to show you what happened. Go back. No, yeah, go to downloads and look where you put it. Companion Care application now is under class files to download. Go to the class files to download folder. You dropped it inside of that folder. See how there it says Companion Care?
Mhm.
It was already in downloads, but when you dragged it to downloads and it didn't go anywhere because it was already in downloads, you moved your mouse back and let go when you were touching the class files to download. So that's what I'm saying, be careful what you do with your hands because in talking to me, you moved Companion Care to the class files to download, which is technically the wrong place with it. So
So I'll just put Command Z.
Command Z for it to move out of there. Yeah. Perfect. And now it's back under the C's of Companion Care application. See, it left the class files to download. So be careful. Every time you drag something around, things do happen. Even if it's not what you wanted it to happen, they are happening. So just keep an eye and beware that if what happened was wrong, to do Command Z. So now
Okay,
you
that was a silly mistake. I'm just tired, but
fine.
thanks.
No, Leslie, I want you to know that when I'm saying stop, let me tell you what happened is because I'm trying to teach you, I don't care if it's right or wrong. Everyone is supposed to make mistakes or they wouldn't be in this class, right?
No, but
So-
I thank you because I was kind of getting it all, so thanks.
I'm just trying to point where it ended up and that's all.
Right, well, that's good to
Right.
know.
So now, like over there, I'm seeing two, Andrea and Hazel. One is just Andrea and Hazel, another is Andrea and Hazel -2. If you look, both are the same date and they're the same size. They're probably the same photo. So you might want to just drag, right click on the second one and the -2 and delete it, right? Things like that. You have quite a few of those. You have Comtria Family School number 2-4 and number 2. So those are probably repeats of each other too. Okay, so
Yeah,
remember that
that's all was from a file I had. I put all my pictures in.
but you have many repeats and that's probably from having dragged different things from different places together. So you have Brian and Brian too. This is something I taught yesterday or last week. Whenever you have a dash something, that's a different of the same thing. And then you might end up discovering you have 200 files that are repeats here. Since you have 500, down there it says credit card year ends, CSV, and then credit card years -PDF. Those are different files. But when it
Okay.
says -2 and it's the same file, the same size, the same ever, then it's probably a duplicate. Okay,
Okay, I got it. Thank you so much.
you're welcome. All right, so
Diana, I wanted to find out on the triangles. what-
triangle, yeah, that's what's next. Okay, so share your screen and let's see if we can do something. about that.
Okay. Let's see. I got the. yeah.
Huh, is anyone of you guys in my Photoshop or my Illustrator class?
Yes.
I just got a text from Emma. And this is weird. Okay. Hey, Diana, we just received an email that tomorrow will be SBC's first observation of Juneteenth. We are canceling your classes tomorrow. You will still be paid. Thank you. I will email students, but you should also email them. That's great. Celebrate Juneteenth, which is awesome. But that means that now I'm gonna miss a whole 3 or 4 hours of each one of those classes, and I don't, I guess we'll learn less. I don't know, I'll need to find out about that, but you've been warned. There's no class tomorrow, I'll emailing everyone, but that's,
Is this a recognized holiday now, like no mail service or federal or state?
I saw in the news that it had been recognized, and I guess SBCC, since it's been recognized, and we're a school and official holidays are free, it's a bit of a surprise to everyone, but okay. All right. So, Al,
Yeah,
let me see what we can do about the disappearing triangle. So
Mhm.
if you go up to view, not the view here, but the view on the top. Yeah, click on that and then say show view options, which is the almost final choice all the way down. Show view options. Yeah. Let's see.
Oh, here, it's
Oh,
over.
we're going to list. I'm trying to see if anything here. Group by date added. No, none of that seems to have here. None of that is, there's no like, click on, per chance, just per chance, click on icon size. I'm sure it's not that, but let me see if you go to icon size and click on the big one, yeah, right there, up a bit, up, yeah, icon size.
Oh.
See, there's a second choice on a little bit on the right that's not clicked. Let me see if per chance that brings the arrows, and no, it just makes them bigger. Okay, go back to the left side because no. Okay, let me, interesting. Let me Google this because I don't know. Missing. So I wrote missing arrow in view by list on macOS Catalina Finder window. How to restore missing expansion triangles in a folder. There we go. Can't see, it's a thing that happens obviously. One of the basic things you can do in a Finder is expand the folder. However, some people's triangles are missing. It's not a geometric problem, but rather one of organization. Apple offers 2 ways to see the Finder, sort by or arrange by. They're 2 different kinds of easily mistaken for each other. Arrange by lets you organize how it appears, sort by handles the ascending. So if you have arrange by, okay, so go up to close this little window that I told you, because that's not it.
Yeah.
Okay, so now go up to the view again.
Oh.
At the top. Yep. And then where it says arrange, oh, you don't have the arrange here, group by, turn off, hold on. You have group by, turn off groups. Say group by none to start with.
Okay.
There you go.
Ah, there they are.
All right. So who else had that problem? Marie and Yolanda. Okay. So hopefully they'll remember to see the end of this to figure it out. And if not, so I just didn't know why it was happening, but once I knew it was happening, I know how to fix it. So there you go.
Ah,
Hopefully,
great.
maybe
Well,
Al,
thank
you
you.
can remind me and say, oh, show them how we fix this or something like that so that we can,
Do that again. Huh? Okay. Yeah, I don't know how it got changed from the last 2 days.
it's so many different ways to view
Yeah.
things. Okay, so that one's taken care of. I think that was it. Susan, does anyone else here? Lonnie, did you have a question? Did anyone hear Vera?
I do.
Okay, Vera.
I have a message saying in the documents, the folder library can't be opened because you don't have permission to see its contents. I have no idea what that is.
Oh, the library is a system file folder that you shouldn't be opening. So if you want to share your screen, let me see why you got that. But
okay.
Yeah, so yeah, say okay, and let me tell you what's happening. if you see here on the left, see how library has like a little zero, or like a little red badge with a minus?
Right.
Basically saying, no, don't touch. That's because unfortunately, people were really messing with their computers. And so now what's happening is that the system library, if it's messed up, you really can't, you can really mess up your computer. So it looks like in your case, the library is locked so that you can't mess up your computer. Now, are you in Big Sur? What operating system are you in?
Big Sur.
Yeah. So I don't have Big Sur, so I'm wondering if it used to be a big problem if they decided that for people who aren't, you know,
Okay.
aware of what they're doing. I don't know why it's locked, but 1 second. I want to see, go to the word documents, that right there next to you, right click. No, that's the iCloud Drive. So now instead go choose your documents, your downloads on the left. I'm trying to see whether you're the only user. Click on downloads. Yeah. And now go up and do the same thing. Go to the downloads and right click. Up at the top where it says downloads at the top, right click. Users, Vera's Mac. So no, this is yours. There's no other. Go to users. I think you're the only. Go to Vera's Mac. No, instead of there. Go click on right click on users again. Right click on users or now on downloads. Right click on downloads, yeah. And now go down to the very bottom to Vera's Mac.
I have a desktop and a laptop by each other.
Okay, click on Vera's Mac. Oh. Now go to the little arrow right next to the Macintosh hard drive and expand it. Like when I taught you, go to the little triangle next to the Macintosh hard drive, to the left, to the, no. Go down to the Macintosh hard drive. You were right there. Let down mouse about an inch. Yes, Macintosh hard drive. One more down. Yeah, little tiny triangle on the left, the one that expands things. Click on it. Go down to users. Click on that. Close Vera. Go to where it says Vera. 2 down and close that. I want to see if you have other users. No, you don't have other users. Okay, so what is your library? That's the library. Go up to the library. See, now most people don't know how to get in here, but I want to see why your library is locked. It's not locked from here. It's just locked from the cloud. That's interesting. Go back to the cloud where you had it locked. Okay, go to the left.
Here.
iCloud. Yeah. Is that where you had it locked? Yeah. So you have a library in your documents that's locked. That documents is in the iCloud. Okay, so it's an access to your system file through the desktop, through the cloud that is locked. The library itself doing everything I just showed you, which technically they don't want people to do that. It's not locked, it's fine, but trying to access it through the cloud, it's locked there. It's telling you that it's locked in the cloud. So I don't know why. I can try to look out and see why maybe it might be locked in the cloud. I would think it's out of trying to make sure that you keep it safe, but that's my only answer. Right. And you were trying to open it, so you got that message of, oh, can't open it, it's locked, just because.
Yeah, because I had gotten my documents down to 15 and my desktop's squeaky clean now. So
that's looking awesome, by the way. Look at that. Very cool. But I do want to say that system files like that are protected, because if anything, it's one thing if you mess around with things on your downloads, but if you mess around with things in your library, your computer stops working, and that's why they do that kind of for protection.
I'll leave it alone.
Awesome. Beautiful organization there. Well done, Vera.
Thank you.
You want to come and help me?
Go ahead and share.
I'll hire you. Come and help me.
Go ahead and share your screen.
Who are you talking to?
Oh, Susan, didn't you just say that you wanted to share your screen?
No. I was just joking. I was telling Vera that.
Oh.
No, I know. I was telling, no.
Oh, you were telling Vera how great. Something to emulate.
Vera, come and help me. I could use your help, boy.
Yeah, that's great. Something to emulate. It's funny because when people share their screens, I don't want people to be felt wrong, but immediately I know by what I see, who has quite a bit of work ahead of him and who not. But even if all you did was make 2 big folders called blessings and whatever photos and put those, it would look much more organized, right?
Yeah, I
But then
know.
when you go into blessings, you'd still have maybe 400 and then you break that into, I'm saying blessings because I saw that word a few times, but I don't know what other things you have in there, but just make some main things. You had what, 12 folders there, Vera, or 10? There you go. Then it becomes much more handleable, right? So, yeah.
All right.
All right,
Thank you.
cool.
Deanna,
Yes,
Safe
Can I-
travels, safe travels.
thank you. Lonnie, I won't travel until the following weekend. So next week
Oh,
I'm
the
still
following.
here. I'm still
Okay.
getting ready. Lonnie?
I'd like to share my screen just quickly because I
Yeah.
have a fuzzy picture
Go ahead.
that I don't know where it came from. and It's in the middle of my,
Oh, okay. That's interesting because that's one of the photos that I use.
it looks like something from your stuff.
Yeah, it's one of my photos. And that okay, that is probably happening because it's like an after image that happens sometimes when you're having low memory. And
Oh.
like around, see how you say only 17 gigs available? I've already told you that that's something that's happening to you, just like mine. That's a malfunction. You need to, it'll go away if you restart your screen at your computer. But right now, since it's an after image and it's basically those, I told you little weird things start happening. That's
Yeah.
one of the little weird things that start happening. And it's not, see how it's not there? You float over it, you try to click it, it's not there. It's just something that's left as a residue. You need to empty out stuff from your computer. That's what needs to
Yeah.
happen. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
And I have to as well. You already saw that it messed me up today. So yeah, we gotta clean up us people who keep everything. Find an extra external hard drive and drag a lot of stuff off to it and then back up that one and then at least make some space for your computer to breathe. Which is what I have to do. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, thank
All
you.
right. You're welcome. Restart, empty, close all your applications and restart and that'll go away. And then after that, keep cleaning up.
Okay.
All right. Okay,
Okay.
guys. See you on Tuesday. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.